In 1980, the boxing world witnessed one of the most tragic fights the sport has ever seen. Muhammad Ali stepped into the ring with one goal in mind: to become the first four-time heavyweight champion of the world.
I want the four-time title because I'll be the greatest athlete in the history of all sports.
It was about pride, about proving he still had something left in the tank. Across from him stood Larry Holmes, but the Ali who walked into that ring wasn't the same man who danced around Sonny Liston or took down George Foreman. He was slower, his reflexes dulled. His speech already showed early signs of Parkinson's. He shouldn't have been in that ring, especially not against someone as dangerous as Holmes. Still, he fought. Not because he had to, but because that's who he was. A warrior, through and through. Holmes hit Ali with everything he had. Ali barely threw anything back. He just stood there, taking it. His pride wouldn't allow him to surrender. 10 rounds of punishment. Until finally, Ali's corner had seen enough. They stopped the fight, and for many, it felt like justice had never been served. But years later, someone did step up. A young fighter who had grown up watching Ali, idolizing him. A kid from Brooklyn who would become the most feared man on the planet, Mike Tyson. And when Tyson got his shot at Larry Holmes, he didn't just fight for himself. He fought for Ali. Larry Holmes wasn't just another name on the list. He wasn't some up-and-comer chasing fame. He was someone who knew Muhammad Ali, not just as a competitor, but as a man. Holmes had spent years as Ali's sparring partner. He had studied his rhythm, felt his speed firsthand, taken his punches in training. In many ways, Ali had shaped the fighter Holmes became. But no matter how far Holmes rose, no matter how many fights he won, the shadow of Ali always loomed large. To the public, he was never the man. He was always the guy who used to spar with the greatest.
By me fighting Muhammad Ali, now I still am not getting the just dues, my recognition.
That's why their fight in 1980 meant more than titles or headlines. For Holmes, it wasn't just a title defense. It was personal. He wanted to prove he wasn't just a footnote in Ali's story. He wanted to write the next chapter himself.
Got to give me my just dues on the fight. It's a Holmes-Ali fight. It's not an Ali-Holmes fight.
Ali came into the fight the way he always did, with unbelievable confidence and his legendary trash talk.
I'm going to be the champ 4 times. I promise you, it'll be a miracle.
And you scared of me. You know you're meeting your master.
Despite the physical decline, despite everything his body was telling him, Ali showed up at the press conferences with the same old swagger.
You are my sparring partner, remember that. You are my sparring partner.
No, I wouldn't come back if I thought I'd go out a loser. I know I can whoop Holmes.
He cracked jokes, predicted a knockout, and reminded the world that he was still the king of boxing. It was vintage Ali, but behind the words, the voice was slower. The spark was fading.
I got determined. I didn't rush it. It took me 6 months.
And Holmes? He wasn't smiling. Ali's antics didn't amuse him. They irritated him, maybe even insulted him. Holmes wasn't the young sparring partner anymore. He was the reigning heavyweight champion, and he wanted to be treated like one. He even slapped Ali across the face. This wasn't showmanship anymore. This was real. It was personal. But here's the painful truth. Ali never should have stepped into that ring. By then, he was 38, long past his prime. The body that once floated like a butterfly now moved slow and stiff. The world-class footwork, the lightning-fast punches, all of it was gone. Even his speech had become slurred.
I'm coming back because it's there. Why are we going to the moon? Because it's there.
Then came fight night, and right from the start, it was clear. Ali didn't belong in that ring anymore. Holmes was sharp, focused, vicious. He used his signature jab like a weapon, snapping Ali's head back again and again. He landed clean combinations, body shots, uppercuts. And Ali? He barely fired back. He just stood there, absorbing brutal punishment. His pride wouldn't allow him to surrender. Round after round, the damage piled up. And that's what made it so hard to watch. It wasn't a fight. It was a slow, public downfall of a hero. By the 10th round, even Holmes looked conflicted. And then finally, Ali's corner made the call. Angelo Dundee, his longtime trainer and friend, stepped in.
What you want to do? The game's over. I'm the chief second. All right. I stopped the fight.
He couldn't watch it continue. He stopped the fight. Ali never quit, but someone had to protect him from himself. It wasn't just a loss. It was the end of an era. Even Holmes felt the weight of it. It was a lose-lose situation for him. If he had lost, he wouldn't have been respected as a real champion. But when he won, when he beat the most beloved figure in boxing history, the crowd didn't cheer. Holmes even cried after the fight.
You know, so I really respect a whole lot, really respect Ali a whole lot.
The greatest had given everything, and now there was nothing left to give. But the story didn't end that night. For Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali wasn't just a great boxer. He was everything.
Ali's a giant. There's no way other fighters can match him.
Tyson deeply respected Ali for his courage and his unbreakable will. He admired him with every fiber of his being. When Ali lost to Larry Holmes in 1980, it wasn't just a defeat for the sport. It was personal.
I said, oh, I can't wait till I get him. Him and Larry Holmes.
Tyson was only a teenager at the time, living and training under the guidance of legendary boxing coach Cus D'Amato. The two of them watched the fight together, and it hurt. They witnessed the man they both revered being slowly, brutally broken down in the ring. It wasn't just about the physical punishment Ali took. It was the heartbreak of watching a once great warrior look helpless. Ali's defeat shook them both. A few days later, Cus picked up the phone and called Ali.
I hear Cus saying, how do you let that bum, don't let you let that bum beat on you. Why you let him beat on you, Muhammad?
And then, Cus handed the phone to Tyson.
Then when I get big, I'm gonna get him for you, I'm gonna revenge you, I'm gonna do your honor.
And somewhere deep inside Tyson, a fire was lit. Tyson tore through the amateur ranks with frightening speed. His style was built for destruction, compact, relentless, and devastatingly powerful. He was an absolute nightmare in the ring. By 1986, at just 20 years old, he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, and he didn't stop there. Tyson dominated every opponent. Most never heard the final bell. He unified titles, crushed records, and brought a new kind of fear back to the heavyweight division. In 1988, Larry Holmes, the same man who had punished Ali, announced his comeback. Holmes stepped back into the ring, and waiting for him was Mike Tyson. And for Tyson, this fight wasn't just another headline. It wasn't about money or belts. It was personal. Larry Holmes was back. He had once been the heavyweight champion of the world, but that was then. Now, he was stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson, the most dangerous fighter on the planet. Just before the opening bell, Muhammad Ali stepped into the ring. He walked over to Tyson and gave him a quiet message.
And then Ali comes into the ring and says, get him for me.
The bell rang. Holmes opened cautiously, trying to stay long, using his jab, moving around the ring. He wanted to avoid the early storm, but it didn't matter. Tyson came forward with aggression. He slipped punches with ease, closed the distance, and began landing heavy shots to the body and head. By the fourth round, Tyson found his opening. A monstrous right hand landed clean. Holmes went down. He got up slowly, unsteady on his feet. Tyson wasted no time. He closed the distance again and landed another precise, punishing shot. Holmes fell a second time. Again, he rose, but this time, his legs were gone. Then came the final sequence. Tyson trapped him in the corner and unleashed a vicious combination. Holmes hit the canvas hard. This time, he didn't get up. The referee didn't count. He didn't need to. It was over. 8 years earlier, Tyson had watched Muhammad Ali suffer in silence. Now, with Ali watching from ringside, he gave him what he never got that night: a dominant finish, a definitive answer, a moment of redemption.